Hi everybody. Welcome to another episode on the Mindful Conversationalist podcast channel. And today I am really so excited because I have two very wonderful elders from the Indigenous tradition, and it's Grandfather Dominique and Marie-Josée. And I'm so happy to have them here. I've met them at Religions for Peace International, and we've met many times at many conferences. And every time I've met them, I have a picture with them. So I'm so excited. I will show that later on in our podcast. But basically, I like to just welcome everybody and to just give you a synopsis of what our conversation is going to be like today. Is that we want this conversation to be a reflective and heartfelt space to explore the Indigenous wisdom, the healing and reconciliation, spirituality, peace building, and humanity's relationship with the earth through the lived experiences and teachings of Grandfather Dominique and Marie-Josée. So the discussion will explore such themes as the Anicinape tradition, I hope I pronounced it properly, and worldview, and the impact of colonization in residential schools, the journey from suffering towards healing and forgiveness, and leadership rooted in service and the sacred relationship between human beings, nature, and spirit. And that's why I'm so excited to explore the teachings of the medicine wheel, the deep river within, conversations that reflect how Indigenous wisdom can help humanity navigate today's challenges of violence, environmental destruction, emotional disconnection, and spiritual crisis that we are facing that can lead us to a place of more healing and balance and reconciliation and peace. So I welcome everybody and I welcome Grandfather Dominique and Marie-Josée. Thank you for being here. And it's wonderful to have you all here. And it's wonderful to start our conversation with the beautiful prayer from Grandfather Dominique.
Mm. Alors, elle t'invite à prononcer ta prière pour commencer. Thank you.
Kweka kena Anishinaabe, ngeshkendane utaman kiabache etutaguek. Ni bingi pidon kepemat syna. Kamine guak kitutuminan. Ne pagusana maga de benjigich. Kijimine guak. Kijimene muak. Kijisagi desuak. Kijisagi tuak kitakinan. Mi veji otapana man ni binugum. Mi maga ojia. Jujum giminek mati siwenne. Semanitu imasit kitte kantavian. Kenege kun gimine kuusa wensigan. Bagussana magiabats. Kijivido kagwe kinawa. Kaodusse wedi. Ja kenege kun kijibigi wesek. Kauskim mati siotske wino. Kijimenene muas. Mi gwetsndana jojum daki. Mi gwetsndana te bikki Jesus kukum. Kimussuminan kasa kaaku diskutem sepa kises. Kakinasech. Wanakussakin maikise kammekuak. Weskatani sinabe kamachawat. Kinaga jikunan. Mi gwetsndana kati benjigich. Kakinage kun kamine kuak. Ngamine kweni bi. Tani oi.
So, if you have a glass of water by any chance, if you don't, it's not a problem. Grandfather is inviting us to drink in the spirit of gratitude toward Mother Earth.
Thank you very much.
Maybe, Marilyn, I can explain why I will have to translate from English to French to grandfather. He speaks a little English, but as you heard, he speaks much more his own language, which I understand quite well. But, you know, in Canada, the first European settlers were from France. And that's why a part of the population here still speaks French. And grandfather was sent to a residential school in French, so it's easier for him if we speak in French together. So thank you in advance for the rhythm that it will give to this interview.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Thank you for the prayer as well. It was really beautiful. So, okay, let's dive into our conversation. I'm so excited and I'm so happy to have her here. It's such an honor. And basically, I would like to start off our conversation to getting to know you both because I've met y'all, I've read about y'all, and y'all been in the interfaith space with Religions for Peace International. But I like to really, really get to know y'all, and I want my audience as well to get to know y'all's journey and basically the essence of the Indigenous tradition that many are still discovering. So I think I would like to start off my first conversation to grandfather. And, I've read that he was born in the traditional Anicinape nomadic way of life in the forests of northern Quebec and were chosen at only 7 years to succeed his father as a hereditary chief. So maybe I would like grandfather to share like what was that world like and his childhood, his relationship with nature, the teachings he received from the elders, and how this path shaped his understanding of leadership, spirituality, and service.
Alors, en gros, elle veut qu'on commence par parler de nous. Puis elle sait qu'elle a expliqué que tu es né dans la forêt. Et donc, elle aimerait savoir comment ça se passait, la vie dans la forêt. Qu'est-ce que tu te rappelles? Parler un peu de la relation avec la nature.
La vie, c'est un cadeau.
Life is a gift.
Et j'ai eu à ma naissance, la vie, quand j'ai touché la terre, maman.
And I received this gift as soon as I was born and had the chance to touch Mother Earth.
La maman, elle dépose l'enfant sur la terre.
Our mothers just make us touch the earth.
J'ai été élevé dans la forêt.
I was raised in the forest.
J'ai vu tout dans la forêt.
I discovered everything from the forest.
J'ai entendu tout, même les silences.
I heard everything, even silence.
Je suis un enfant de la forêt.
I'm a child of the forest.
J'ai vécu avec les arbres sacrés.
I lived with the sacred trees.
Je mangeais tout ce que la terre maman me donnait.
Eating everything that Mother Earth was giving to me.
C'était une vie sainte.
It was a holy life.
Tout ce que je recevais, c'était sacré.
Everything I would receive was sacred.
Je ne suis pas végétarien.
I'm not vegetarian.
Je mange qu'est-ce que le Créateur me donne.
I eat what Creator gives us.
Nous vivons avec les animaux.
We live with the animals.
On demande aux animaux de nous donner leur vie pour qu'on puisse la survivre.
We ask them to offer their life so that we can survive.
On ne tue pas un animal.
We never kill an animal.
On demande sa vie.
We ask for his life.
C'est différent.
It's different.
Et quand je suis venu au monde,
when I was born,
j'ai été très protégé avec les anciens.
The elders protected me a lot.
On m'a commencé très jeune à enseigner.
And I started to receive their teachings at a very young age.
j'étais toujours zéro à l'école.
When I had to go to school, it was always like a zero.
Beaucoup dans la violence.
School was very violent for me.
C'était pas, c'était pas l'école chez nous, dans
It,
la forêt.
it was not the same kind of school when you were going to the school of the forest.
J'avais 7 ans et demi.
I was 7.5 years old.
Ma mère m'a ouvert la vie
My mother opened life for me
pour que je puisse aller m'aventurer dans la forêt.
so that I can go in a very adventurous spirit in the forest.
Papa, il avait un rôle de nous enseigner de protéger de tous les arbres, les animaux.
Dad had this role of teaching us everything about the forest, the animals,
L'orientation en forêt,
how to find your way in the forest,
la survie aquatique,
how to survive on waters,
tout le respect que la terre maman nous donne.
all the respect we have to give to Mother Earth and that she gives to us.
Chaque matin, papa me demandait de prier.
Each morning, Dad would ask us to pray
En chantant.
with songs,
Et maman,
and Mom
elle me nourrissait beaucoup d'amour.
was feeding me with lots of love.
C'est une vie qui me manque aujourd'hui.
I miss this life.
Aujourd'hui, c'est très différent.
Today is very different.
Je suis très content aussi de parler ma langue.
I'm very happy to speak my language.
L'enseignement de maman, c'est très, très, très spécial.
The teaching from my mom is very special.
Apprendre le rôle de la femme.
Learning the role of women.
Il n'y a jamais eu un contradictoire, papa et maman, dans les enseignements.
There were never contradictions between the teachings from my father and mother.
C'était tellement fort, maman. C'était les enseignements provenant de la terre, maman.
The teachings from my mother were so powerful. They were teachings coming from the earth.
Il y avait la liberté d'esprit, maman.
In those years, my mom was completely free within her spirit.
Cette vie-là, c'était pur.
This life was pure.
Il n'y avait pas de pollution.
No pollution.
C'était vraiment, les animaux étaient là pour nous aider aussi.
And the animals were there to help us.
J'ai vécu avec des animaux.
I lived with them.
C'est eux qui m'ont emmené sur le bon chemin.
And I can say that they showed me the way.
Je mangeais qu'est-ce qu'ils mangeaient.
I used to eat what they would eat.
J'étais tellement bien dans l'eau aussi.
I was also so comfortable within water, like in a lake.
Parce que c'est spécial le lac chez nous.
Home, when we talk about the lake, it's very special.
Dans ma langue, c'est Sakaikan.
In my language, we say the word sagaigen to say lake.
Sakaikan qui veut dire Saki, c'est l'amour.
It comes from the word saki, which means love.
C'est un bassin d'amour.
So we could translate it as a basin of love.
Alors, quand on embarque dans l'eau, la terre maman nous purifie.
So when you swim into a lake, it's like if Mother Earth is purifying you.
Aujourd'hui, je suis assis devant vous.
Today I sit in front of you.
C'est grâce à le lac.
It's thanks to the lake.
Et aussi les animaux.
And also the animals.
Je suis content, je comprends très bien quand les gens m'appellent sauvage.
We used to be called savages here.
Et je suis très fier d'être sauvage.
And today I can say I'm very proud to be savage.
Parce que les animaux sauvages ils sont bien.
It's the same thing as the wild animals. They feel good.
Il n'y a pas d'obstacle quand on devient l'animal un peu.
When you become a little bit like them, there's no obstacle.
Parce que les animaux marchent à l'avant.
All the animals always walk forward.
Les oiseaux volent à l'avant.
The birds fly forward.
Tous les esprits de la forêt vont devant.
All the spirits from the forest are going forward.
Ils ne reculent pas.
They never go back.
C'est juste l'humain qui recule.
Only human beings go backwards.
Mais on tombe dans un précipice des fois, c'est profond.
And when you're concentrating only on your past, on things backward, you can fall into a very deep pit.
Je suis un des survivants du pensionnat.
I survived what we call the residential school system.
Je viens de loin.
I come from far.
Depuis mon enfance que j'entends parler de pouvoir.
So that's where in my childhood I started to hear or discover what power is.
J'ai reçu un cadeau dans ma vie.
I received a gift in my life.
Papa m'a mis un coiffe sur ma tête.
One day my father gave me the headdress, the feather headdress.
Quand il m'a remis sur ma tête, il m'a dit, je te remets sur ta tête la médecine et non pas le pouvoir.
And he told me when he did it, what I'm giving to you today is not power, it's just medicine.
Tout est commencé quand le pouvoir est arrivé, le malheur.
All the disruption started when the power arrived on our land.
C'était triste quand j'ai su l'histoire de papa, maman.
It was very sad when I heard about this.
Qui nous ont enlevé nos territoires ancestraux.
They took our ancestral territories.
On n'avait plus le droit d'aller dans nos territoires.
We were not allowed to go back to our ancestral territories.
On était emprisonnés, qu'on appelle des réserves.
And they created what we call reserves, and we were like imprisoned in them.
C'est là que ça a commencé vraiment au niveau mental, la souffrance.
This is how the suffering really started for us.
J'essayais de ramener mon esprit dans la beauté de ce que j'ai reçu au début.
I was trying to bring back my spirit towards the beauty I received in the beginning.
Mais c'était pas facile.
But it was not easy.
Au niveau mental et physique.
Mentally and physically.
Le mode de vie qui disparaît.
Our way of life disappearing.
J'ai failli perdre ma langue.
I almost lost my language.
À chaque fois que je parlais ma langue, il me disait, on va finir par couper ta langue sale.
In those schools, when I wanted to speak my language, they were threatening me, saying that they would cut my dirty tongue.
Ça reste là beaucoup dans la mémoire.
These things really remain in my memory.
Il a fallu que je trouve une façon d'équilibrer ma vie.
I had to find a way to balance my life.
Ils m'ont appris de ne pas m'aimer.
Because in the school, I was taught not to love myself.
Comment vous voulez aimer des gens?
So how can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself?
Maman ne parlait pas du tout d'autres langues.
My mom couldn't speak any other language.
Papa très peu.
My dad, a little bit.
Mais on ne pouvait pas rentrer en communication ensemble.
We were not allowed to communicate with them.
J'étais obligé de parler français.
I was forced to speak French.
Cette école, ça a duré pendant 7 ans et demi.
So I was obliged to go in that residential school for 7 years.
7 ans dans l'enfer.
7 years in hell
Il n'y avait pas d'amour.
with no love.
Je ne veux pas généraliser tous les missionnaires qui m'ont fait du mal.
I don't want to generalize. It's not all the missionary people who hurt me.
J'ai appris dans ma langue de ne jamais généraliser quoi qu'il arrive.
I learned that it's important to never generalize.
Je suis chanceux dans la vie
I'm lucky in my life
de pouvoir, la résilience qui est à l'intérieur de moi.
because of the resilience I have within me.
J'ai appris dans la forêt des belles choses.
In the forest, I've learned beautiful things.
La vie, c'est un beau cadeau de là,
Life is a beautiful gift,
quoi qu'il arrive.
whatever happens.
Ça a été pas facile,
It was not easy,
mais on vivait au jour le jour.
but I learned that you can live day by day.
Et quand ils m'ont mis à la porte du pensionnat,
And when I was kicked out of the residential school,
j'étais tellement perdu
I was so lost.
parce que j'avais pas le droit de parler des Blancs ni d'autres peuples.
In those years, we were not allowed to speak to anybody outside the school.
Je me sentais seul
I felt really lonely.
et je pouvais pas parler ma langue à ma mère ni papa.
I was scared to speak my language with my mom and dad.
J'avais peur encore d'être martyrisé.
I was still afraid to be beaten.
Il y a des conséquences sur mon corps
I still had consequences on my body
et aussi mental.
and also mentally.
Faut que je confronte cette négativité que j'ai créée à l'intérieur de moi.
To confront this negativity that I created within me.
Je buvais beaucoup.
So I used to drink a lot.
L'alcool,
Alcohol
je me cachais en
was
arrière des bouteilles.
helping me to hide. I was hiding behind bottles.
J'avais honte
I was
d'être
ashamed
un Anicinape.
to be Anishinaabe.
Un Anicinape, ça veut dire un être humain.
This is how we call ourselves, and it only means a human being.
J'avais honte.
I was ashamed.
Tous les survivants, ils ont passé par là.
All the people who survived those schools went through the same thing.
On n'avait pas beaucoup d'aide au niveau de au niveau psychologie dans le temps, pas comme aujourd'hui.
Nowadays, you have psychologists and things like that, but in those years, it was rare.
Tu dois grandir.
So you must grow.
Tu dois regarder ta vie.
You must look at your life.
Le futur et non pas en arrière.
Look at the future and not the past.
J'ai eu des idées noires.
I used to have very dark thinking.
Je croyais plus la vie.
I was not believing in life anymore.
On a la tendance d'aller dans la noirceur.
And you have this tendency to go towards darkness.
Je voulais me suicider.
I thought about suicide.
Je remercie mes parents.
And I thank my parents.
Je suis allé voir tous les spécialistes, des psychiatres, tout ce qui est psy.
I tried to meet specialists, all the psychologists, psychiatrists.
On n'a même pas C'est pas la même philosophie.
But it's not the same philosophy.
Je comprenais rien.
I could not understand a thing.
Mais j'ai continué à chercher de l'aide.
And I kept on trying to find help.
Il y a un aîné qui m'avait dit, retourne dans la forêt.
And one elder said, go back to the forest.
C'est là-bas la vie.
That's where life is.
C'est là-bas tout le soin mental.
That's where you have mental healing.
Retourne aller voir tes animaux.
Go back to your animals.
Retourne aller voir tes arbres,
Go back to your trees,
des lacs et des rivières.
lakes and rivers.
Je l'ai cru.
And I believed him.
Je suis allé.
I went back.
J'ai quitté la ville.
I left the city.
J'ai quitté la réserve.
I left the reserve.
Et j'étais tellement bien.
And I felt so good.
J'ai trouvé quelqu'un là-bas dans la forêt.
I found someone there in the forest.
C'est moi-même.
It was me.
Quand je me suis retrouvé,
When I found myself back,
je suis allé chercher tout ce qui m'a enlevé.
I went back to all the things that were taken away from me.
Premièrement, l'amour.
First, love.
On m'a enlevé mes parents.
My parents.
Je les ai retrouvés, papa et maman.
I found back my mom and dad.
J'ai vécu avec les ours.
I lived with the bears.
Les ours, ils m'ont adopté.
The bears adopted me.
J'ai joué avec eux.
And I played with them.
Ils m'ont jamais fait mal.
They never hurt me.
Ils m'ont toujours donné l'amour.
Always giving me love.
Et c'est là que j'ai commencé à regarder, c'est ça la médecine que je cherchais.
And I understood that this was the medicine I was looking for.
C'est les animaux qui m'ont donné la vie.
The animals gave me my life back.
Nous sommes des peuples joyeux.
We're a happy people.
Nous sommes des peuples aussi qui vivent avec beaucoup d'humour.
We are people living with a lot of humor.
Et c'est ça que j'ai trouvé dans les petits ours.
And this is the sort of things I found with these bear cubs.
On se battait pas, on s'amusait.
We were not fighting, we were playing.
On se baignait avec, je me baignais
Swimming
avec eux.
with the bears.
Les castors,
Also the beavers.
tous les animaux.
All the animals.
J'étais entouré avec vraiment des vrais bons esprits.
I was surrounded with real good spirits.
Et quand je me suis assis au pied d'un arbre,
And when I sat at the foot of a tree,
la mémoire revient.
the memory came back.
Les anciens me parlaient que tu devrais être comme un arbre avec beaucoup de fierté et droite.
I remembered that the elders used to say that we should be like a tree with a lot of pride, standing tall.
Et surtout de ne jamais quitter tes ancêtres.
Never leaving your ancestors.
L'arbre a un cœur.
A tree has a heart,
Et comme toi,
like you,
il y a aussi ses racines.
and also roots.
Les racines, ils se mélangent entre eux, entre les arbres.
And underneath the ground, in the ground, the roots of the trees crisscross each other.
L'aîné me dit, on est comme ça, on se tient après les racines des anciens.
And the elders explain that we are the same with our roots hidden. We are holding each other.
C'est pour ça qu'ils sont solides, les
And
arbres.
that's why the trees are solid, are
Il
strong.
dit, on devrait être comme les arbres.
And we should be like them.
J'ai fréquenté toutes sortes de différents. Pas parce que je ne veux pas dire qu'ils sont pas bons, mais merci à ces gens-là, de tous les psychologues, des psychiatres, des médecins.
I
qui
want to
m'ont
thank all
donné-
the doctors that I met in the past because they also helped me. But I don't want to say that they were not good.
Ce sont mes frères, mes sœurs.
They are my brothers and sisters.
Chez nous, c'est comme ça qu'on définit les gens.
This
On
is
est tous des
how
frères et
we
sœurs.
call each other. We're all brothers and sisters.
On ne regarde pas la couleur.
We don't look at the color of your skin.
On regarde Anicinape,
We look at the Anicinabe,
un humain.
a human being.
J'ai trouvé la paix à l'intérieur de moi.
I finally found peace within myself.
Quand je suis allé avec mon papa dans la médecine la plus forte chez nous, qu'on appelle Madado.
When I went to this place with my dad, we call it Madado. It's a very, very strong healing place.
C'est une dôme qui représente le ventre de maman.
We build a hut, a dome, representing the mother's womb.
Et je dois retourner d'où je viens.
So that we go back to where we come from.
C'est comme si j'avais retourné dans la ventre de ma mère.
It was like I was going back inside my mother's womb.
Il y avait beaucoup d'eau à l'intérieur aussi.
And it's very humid inside those huts.
Pour moi, ça a été la médecine que j'ai trouvée de mes ancêtres.
I went back to the medicine of my ancestors this way.
C'est différent la souffrance de mes ancêtres et ma souffrance d'aujourd'hui.
The suffering of my ancestors and my suffering nowadays are different.
L'ancien temps, il n'y avait pas de pouvoir.
In the ancient times, there was no power.
Mais quand le pouvoir est arrivé, ils ont attaqué les plus faibles.
But when the power came, they attacked the weakest ones.
Les enfants.
The children.
J'étais enfant.
I was a child.
Ils ne nous voient pas comme des humains.
They were not looking at us as human beings.
Ni comme un enfant.
Nor as a child.
Nous étions des objets pour eux.
We were like objects for them.
Mais il ne faut pas généraliser.
I don't want to generalize.
Il y en a qui ont profité du système.
But some of those missionary people really took advantage.
Je travaillais beaucoup pour moi-même, pour ma guérison.
I had to work a lot on my healing.
J'ai 79 ans.
I'm 79 years old.
Je sens pas encore la guérison.
I don't think that I'm healed yet.
C'est un long processus.
It's such a long process.
Mais je dois avancer.
But I have to go forward.
J'ai pris l'exemple de l'éducation de mes ancêtres.
I took the example of my ancestors' education.
Oral et visuel.
Always oral and visual.
J'avais 12 ans quand que mon père m'avait demandé de prendre mon canot d'écorce, tout seul.
I was 12 years old. I have to explain that during the residence school era, the children were allowed to go back to their families in summertime. So grandfather would go back to his traditions when he was back to the forest in the summer. And when he was 12 years old, he was asked by his elders to go through an important initiation.
J'ai pris mon canot d'écorce.
So I took
j'ai trouvé l'équilibre à l'intérieur de mon canot.
I took my birch bark canoe where I found my balance.
La mémoire est revenue la façon que les aînés, l'ancien temps, ils prenaient le canot à ramer puis garder son équilibre. Ça, je me souviens.
I remembered straight away how to find my balance again inside my canoe.
C'était le plus beau moment pour moi.
It was such a beautiful moment.
Et après, papa m'a demandé si je pouvais aller chercher l'esprit de la forêt pour la vie.
And then my dad said, I want you to go to the forest to get the spirit of the forest for the rest of your life.
J'ai demandé à l'ours
So I had to ask to a bear
de me donner sa vie,
to give his life to
de
me,
me donner l'amour.
to give his love,
Il m'a donné sa vie.
and he decided to give his life.
J'avais 12 ans et demi.
I was 12 years old,
Puis je l'ai encore aujourd'hui.
and I still have
Puis
the skin today,
j'ai sa peau, puis j'ai aussi sa craque.
and also the skin, and also the skull.
Toute la mémoire de l'ours est dedans.
All the memory of the bear is inside them.
Je me sens fort depuis que j'ai reçu l'ours.
And I still feel strong since then.
Il a voyagé avec moi.
The bear traveled a lot with me.
Je le mettais sur mon dos.
I used to wear it on my back.
J'embarquais dans les avions.
I would travel in planes with my bear.
Les gens, ils m'acceptaient.
And the people would accept me.
Et maintenant, il est âgé comme moi.
But today he is aging like me.
Il voyage plus avec
He
moi.
doesn't travel anymore.
Mais il reste à la maison.
And he stays home.
Il regarde, il garde l'esprit de la maison ici.
Veux-tu aller le chercher? Do you want to get it?
À des d'autres.
Oh, if you want, Marilyn, we could go get the skin and then go get it.
Okay, sure, no problem. Thank you.
My English sometimes is good. Early in the morning.
In the mornings.
Yeah, yes. When I receive my bear, all spirit around me coming to see me. Wolf, turtle, all different animals. Eagle.
Wow.
He came in to see me. And my dad and another grandfather, they asked me to go to a platform. We call that a platform. It's a very high to go there for the meditation, for healing. That's my bear.
Wow.
It's very old.
It's a very,
How old is he? Because he's been with you since 12 years, right?
When grandfather was 12 years old, so 79 less 12 makes what? 67.
Wow.
67 years old, and he's been traveling a lot. Maybe you can show his face.
Oh.
You see, it's all broken.
Yeah.
Where is the ears are here? Yeah.
J'ai
Wow.
retrouvé mon ours après l'école.
I went back to my bear after school.
Les aînés m'ont demandé d'aller plus loin que ça, d'aller chercher la guérison.
So the elders also asked me to go even further and finding my healing. Je vais rajouter une chose. I'd like to add something because grandfather didn't really explain how terrible it was for those children in those schools. I don't know if in South Africa you've heard about what happened to the children, but those schools were led by missionary people, and the intention was really, they were saying it's to kill the Indian in the child. It was very violent. So the children were taken away from their parents by the police, and the intention was to civilize them. That's what they were saying. But the thing is that everywhere, all across the country, there were a lot of abuse of all sorts, including sexual abuse. So that's why the healing was so difficult. So just imagine being taken away from your parents in such a violent way. And after that, they were not allowed to speak their language and were forced to eat new food and were forced to adopt a new spirituality. And, it was so global. So for all these generations, it was very, very hard afterwards. So grandfather was explaining how important it was for him to go back to the philosophy of his people, and that's how he really was able to overcome all what happened. Okay.
Je me sens bien encore avec
l'ours.
avec l'os.
Nowadays, I feel so good when I have my bear with me like this.
Qu'il me faisait un hug.
It's like if the bear is giving me a hug.
Il est encore en vie.
He's still alive.
C'est la raison pourquoi il reste avec nous.
And that's the reason why we still have him.
Il va protéger ma femme aussi.
He's protecting also my wife.
Et merci à la nature.
Thanks to nature.
Je dis toujours, le pouvoir brise l'enfant.
Power can really break the spirit of a child.
Le pouvoir brise la famille.
Breaking families.
Le pouvoir brise l'organisation.
Breaking organizations.
J'ai rien contre ce qui se passe aujourd'hui, mais on devrait être sensible qui on est, Anicinape.
Nowadays, we should be so mindful of the importance of becoming or being just like a human being.
J'ai tout fait dans ma vie pour me trouver.
I worked a lot in my life in order to find myself.
La première chose que j'ai trouvée, c'est mon identité.
And the first thing I had to go back to was my identity.
Que je suis fier de moi d'être Anishinaabe.
I'm proud of myself to be Anishinaabe.
À chaque fois que je parle de passionnat, c'est très dur pour moi.
Each time I have to speak about the residential school is still difficult.
On revit.
Because the memories come back and you live that again.
Où j'ai passé, je pense qu'il n'y a pas de guérison.
Nowadays, I'm not looking for healing anymore.
C'est une cicatrice qui va
I
rester à vie.
understood that I will always have this scar for the rest of my life.
Et qui va s'occuper de
But
la
I
cicatrice?
understood that the only person who can take care of it is myself.
De ne jamais prendre comme une victime.
And I understood that I should never feel like I'm a victim.
Avant, je me sentais toujours attaqué, victime.
In the past, I was always feeling like if I was attacked and being always like a victim.
Puis maintenant,
Not anymore.
j'ai une belle vie aujourd'hui.
I have a beautiful life today.
Je vais souvent dans la forêt.
I often go to the forest.
On s'est bâti une maison
We built a new home
dans la forêt.
in the forest.
Et quand je m'ennuie mes ancêtres, je retourne d'où je viens.
And when I miss my ancestors, I go back to my ancestral land.
Et je vais là-bas des fois, je suis allé pour ramasser des bleuets.
Which is very far in the forest, but I go back and I enjoy picking blueberries.
Parce que c'est lui qui m'a montré comment manger des bleuets.
Because he is the one who taught me how nice they taste.
Après tout ce trajet-là de mon histoire,
After all this life journey,
j'ai écouté mes professeurs de la vie.
I I listened to my teachers of life,
tous les hommes médecine et les femmes médecine.
all the medicine men and medicine women who taught me.
Ils disent, il faut que tu reviennes à 100%.
They said, you have to come back 100%.
Ton esprit est faible encore.
Your spirit is still weak.
Tu dois aller te renfermer dans la forêt.
You must go back and retreat in the forest.
Je les ai écoutés.
I listened to them.
Ça a été dur au début, mais ça a été bien après.
At the beginning, it was difficult, but after that, it went well.
Je choisis. Il y a des aînés qui ont déjà fait ça, des aînés qui ont été aussi au passionnat pour sortir dans la souffrance mentale intérieure.
Other elders did the same thing. Elders who also had to go through the residential school system. And this is something we did to help ourselves coming back to life.
Je me suis entraîné pendant 1 an,
So
mentalement et physiquement.
for this initiation, I had to train for 1 year beforehand, mentally and physically.
On m'a parlé de plateforme de la médecine un peu.
This initiation was taking place onto a platform in a tree.
Quand j'ai accepté, j'ai monté sur la plateforme.
When I accepted, so I went onto that platform very high in the tree,
85 pieds haut.
85 feet high, a very big tree.
Cette plateforme-là était pour moi.
And this platform was only for me.
Quand je suis arrivé là-bas, il y avait déjà la médecine.
And on the platform, they had left some medicine for me.
C'est un endroit où il y avait beaucoup des aigles.
And I was surrounded by eagles' nests.
L'aîné m'a dit, tu dois voler comme un aigle quand tu vas descendre après l'initiation.
Elder said, when you finish this initiation, it's like if you will fly like an eagle.
J'ai monté.
I went up.
J'ai laissé tout en arrière.
Leaving everything behind me.
Ma famille.
My family.
Mes amis.
My friends.
C'était moi le plus important ce fois-là.
Then I became the most important person in my life.
Mon père m'avait toujours dit, donne-toi, toi.
My dad always used to teach me, you have to give yourself everything first before giving to the others.
Je l'ai fait.
This is what I did.
Pendant 21 jours.
During 21 days,
à confronter tous les obstacles que j'avais reçus.
I remained on this platform, confronting all the obstacles in my life.
Même j'ai amené avec moi le rêve qui était plus difficile de se suicider.
I had to confront this most difficult idea I used to have, which was the one of suicide.
J'étais torse nu.
I had to be almost naked on this platform.
Et j'ai pris 21 jours par rapport à l'enseignement de maman.
And I took the vow to stay there for 21 days in honor of my mother.
Il me parlait de ses menstruations.
Because it's the cycle of women.
Ça m'a aidé beaucoup parce que je voyais maman souffrir à chaque fois.
And remembering my mom's cycle, that helped me go through my initiation because I remembered the suffering my mom had during her menstrual cycles.
Mental que nous avons est fort, l'esprit dans notre tête est fort.
Our spirit is very strong.
Physiquement aussi.
And our body too.
Papa et maman m'ont parlé comment Anicinape est solide.
My mom and dad used to teach me how much Anishinaabe is strong.
Si vous habitez à l'intérieur de vous-même.
If you inhabit yourself.
J'ai choisi de de ne pas manger pendant 21 jours,
So
ni
during
boire.
those 21 days, I chose not to eat nor drink.
Mais avant de faire ça, il a fallu que je connaisse mon corps,
But
mon esprit.
before that, I had to train my body and learn to know it well.
C'était le plus beau moment
This
pendant 21 jours,
was such a beautiful moment.
à confronter le vent violent.
21 days confronting strong winds,
C'est la même chose quand on confronte les obstacles dans la vie.
which is similar to when you have to confront obstacles in life.
J'étais torse nu puis j'étais devant le froid, le vent, la neige.
I was just bare chest and I had to confront the cold and the wind and maybe the snow.
Et c'est là que j'ai compris que mon corps et mon esprit, ils se rejoignaient.
And that's how I understood that your body and spirit can join each other.
21 jours après,
After-
j'étais reçu par les grands-mères,
Mhm.
33 grands-mères.
So when I succeeded after 21 days, then I was welcomed by a group of 33 grandmothers.
Personne ne me connaissait sur mon visage parce que j'étais tellement la médecine sur moi. À
Et-
chaque fois que j'avais la peine en haut sur la plateforme, je prenais la médecine dans ma main puis je mettais ça sur mon visage.
The people could hardly recognize me because during those 21 days, I had different medicines with me. And I put some medicine on my face,
Sur mon corps.
on my body.
Et quand j'ai descendu,
And when I went down the platform,
je me sentais léger.
I felt really light.
Et quand j'ai touché la terre,
And when I touched the ground,
j'ai pleuré beaucoup.
I cried a lot
À laisser tout.
because I left everything on that platform.
Je voulais avoir l'esprit de l'aigle.
I wanted to have the spirit of an eagle,
Je voulais avoir l'esprit du bison.
the spirit of a buffalo.
Je voulais avoir l'esprit de Maquin.
I wanted to have the spirit of Makwa, the bear,
Et aussi celle qui représente féminin, la tortue.
and also the spirit of the turtle, which for us symbolizes the feminine energy.
De prendre le temps dans la
Taking
vie aujourd'hui.
the time of living your life.
Je suis là aujourd'hui.
And today I'm here in front of you.
C'est un honneur de m'asseoir avec vous, de parler de ça.
It's an honor to sit with you and talk about this.
J'ai plus aucun frisson.
I don't even have goosebumps anymore.
Avant, j'avais honte
But in the past, I was ashamed
d'être un Anicinape avant.
to be an Anicinabe.
Puis je voulais pas parler de la violence sexuelle.
And I didn't want to talk about the sexual abuse I had to go through.
J'étais renfermé pendant 7 ans et demi.
I was in that school for 7 years.
Quand j'ai sorti de là, c'est comme un animal qui sortait de sa cage.
And when I came out of there, I was like an animal coming out of its cage.
J'avais beaucoup l'agressivité.
I was very angry.
C'est le même système qu'un animal quand il est dans sa cage. Il est très agressif quand il sort de sa cage.
Exactly the same thing as an animal coming out of a cage. There's a lot of aggressivity.
J'ai tout senti ces esprits-là.
I felt all these spirits,
On les appelle les esprits de la forêt.
the spirits of the forest.
D'être comme eux.
I knew I had to be again like them,
De cesser de vivre en arrière.
to stop living in the past.
Aujourd'hui, je considère ça comme les enseignements.
And today, everything that happened to me, I considered them as teachings.
J'ai trouvé la vraie vie.
I found the real life.
Je dis pas que je suis guéri, je dis pas que je suis parfait.
I'm not saying that I'm healed nor perfect.
Ma cicatrice est là.
The scar is still there.
Je dois veiller.
And I know I must take care of it.
Si je m'en occupe pas, elle peut s'ouvrir.
Otherwise, it can open again.
Il y a beaucoup de choses qui passent encore dans mon chemin là, aujourd'hui.
I still have things on my path nowadays.
Les écoles, il y en avait beaucoup au Canada.
We had a lot of these schools in Canada.
Il y a beaucoup d'enfants qui ont été disparus.
And many thousands of children basically disappeared.
Dernièrement, ils ont trouvé, grâce à la technologie, ils ont trouvé les enfants enterrés dans l'école, dans les résidentiels, l'école en arrière.
So recently, with those new technologies that can see underneath the ground, we started to discover their bodies. They were hidden in secret behind those schools. They evaluate that it's probably more than 6,000 children that they died in those schools, and they were buried in secret by the Catholic Church and other churches too.
Cette journée-là,
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah.
cette journée-là, le gouvernement qui a annoncé,
So when they started to talk about these discoveries on the news,
on savait entre nous, il y a quelque chose qui n'allait pas.
this is something that we knew as children. We could remember that kind of things going on.
Mais la vérité sort toujours.
The truth always finish by being discovered.
C'est comme s'ils m'avaient coupé.
But when they talked about it on the news, it's like if it was like if it cut my two legs.
Ça m'a pris 2 mois pour me lever.
And it took me like 2 months before being able to come back to life and being happy.
J'avais tout laissé mes objets sacrés.
I was not touching my sacred objects.
Je suis porteur de calumets.
I'm a sacred pipe carrier.
Je suis porteur de tambours.
Sacred drums carrier also.
Tout ce qui est la médecine, j'ai laissé tomber.
And all these medicine objects, I let them go.
Il a fallu que je commence à zéro.
And I had to start from scratch.
Et la personne qui est assise à côté de moi, c'est elle qui m'a sauvé la vie.
And the person sitting next to me, she is the one who saved my life.
Elle m'a remis le tambour.
She gave me my sacred drum.
Nous étions dans notre territoire ancestral.
When we went back to the ancestral territory,
Où papa et maman ils sont rencontrés.
where mom and dad met in the past.
Sans me préparer,
Without being prepared,
j'ai pris le tambour
I took the drum
et j'ai commencé à chanter.
and I started to sing
2 mois après.
2 months after.
Sans me préparer avec le tambour.
Without any preparation.
On dit chez nous, c'est l'esprit de tambour qui est venu te voir pour te soutenir.
Home, we say that it's the spirit of your drum that comes to meet you in order to help you.
Le tambour est fabriqué avec les éléments de la terre.
A drum is made with the earth elements.
Le cercle, c'est l'arbre.
The circle is from a tree.
Fait que l'arbre continue
So we say that
à vivre.
the tree
L'esprit
is still living in an other form.
Et aussi la peau de l'orignal.
And on top of the circle, there's a skin, and it's the moose skin.
J'ai commencé à faire résonner le tambour.
So that day, I started to
Le
beat
cœur de
the drum,
l'arbre. le cœur de l'orignal.
And it was like hearing the heart of the tree and the heart of the moose beating,
Et mon cœur.
and also my own heart.
Le tambour qui m'a sauvé la vie.
So I can say it's the drum that saved my life.
Je retrouvais mes ancêtres.
I went back to my ancestors.
C'est une faiblesse, tout simplement.
It was just a weak moment.
C'est pas la faute à personne.
It was anybody else's fault.
C'est moi qui est allé là.
I was the one who went there.
Mais je suis revenu encore plus fort.
But I came back even stronger.
Je me suis jamais jugé.
I never judged myself.
J'ai jamais jugé qui que ce soit.
Or I never judged anybody else.
Aujourd'hui, je fais beaucoup le sweat lodge, la tente sudation.
And today I'm still doing a lot of sweat lodges, those huts that we talked a bit about earlier.
Tout le monde peut venir à l'intérieur avec moi.
And everybody can come with me inside the sweat lodge.
Même les gens qui m'ont fait mal.
Even the people who hurt me.
Et des missionnaires aujourd'hui en intérieur avec moi dans le dodo.
Nowadays, I have friends who are missionary people, and they come inside my sweat lodge.
Il y a des policiers, des gendarmes.
Also, policemen
qui viennent
who come
pour demander pardon.
To ask for forgiveness.
Sans attirer vers moi. Ils ont choisi de venir.
I never had to ask for that. They came naturally.
Je remercie mes ancêtres.
I would like to thank my ancestors.
Aujourd'hui, j'en fais encore.
Today, I still do Madado, the sweat lodge.
Hier, on avait
Yesterday,
accompagné des gens.
My wife and I accompanied a group inside the sweat lodge ritual.
C'est pas parce que tu as un problème. Non.
You don't need to have any problem.
C'est juste une question d'équilibre de la vie.
And it's just helping you to have a more balanced life.
La porte s'ouvre 4 fois dans la hutte.
During a session, a sweat lodge session, the door opens 4 times.
Il fait très chaud.
It's very hot.
Des fois, il fait 40.
Sometimes it's 40 degrees.
Aujourd'hui,
I would say even more.
Ah oui, des fois, c'est plus.
Yeah.
Aujourd'hui, c'est pas juste au niveau mental qu'on souffre.
Nowadays, it's not only mentally that we suffer.
Physique aussi.
Physically too.
Avec la pollution que nous vivons ensemble.
With all the pollution that we have on this planet.
Je suis très touché de ce que vous m'avez conté, votre histoire à vous, au début.
I'm very touched about what is happening in South Africa.
Je vais mettre ça dans mes prières.
And I will put South Africa into my prayers.
Je vous aime.
I love you.
J'aime tout le monde.
I love everyone.
Dans la vie, il n'y a rien de négatif.
Now I can say that in life there's nothing negative.
Avant, c'était juste négatif, négatif, négatif.
In the past, this is what I used to say.
Aujourd'hui, je prends ça
But nowadays,
comme une preuve de la vie.
I know that these are the challenges we have to go through in life.
Tout devient positif.
And I know that everything can become positive.
Il faut jamais se juger.
You should never judge yourself.
C'est l'amour qui gagne aujourd'hui.
And today, I know that love has won.
On me demande souvent qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire pour arrêter de la guerre.
Often people ask me, how can we stop wars?
Il faut commencer à l'intérieur par nous autres mêmes.
And I say, you only can start within your own self.
On se fait mal pour le rien des fois.
Sometimes you hurt yourself for nothing.
Je remercie toujours chaque matin les éléments.
Every morning, I thank the elements.
Chaque matin, quand je me lève, je regarde direction Est.
Each morning when I wake up, I turn towards the east.
J'attends que le grand-père soleil se lève
waiting for Grandfather the sun to rise
avec mon verre d'eau.
with a glass of water.
Et je remercie la grand-mère la lune
And
avant que le grand-père soleil arrive.
before Grandfather sun comes up, I thank Grandmother Moon,
Celle qui m'a veillé toute la nuit.
who was taking care of me all night long.
Et ensuite, je remercie le grand-père
And then I thank the grandfather
qui allume le feu sacré pour moi.
who lights up the sacred fire for me.
Je vois la vie quand le feu est allumé.
Once his fire is lit, I can see life
Je sens la chaleur humaine.
and feel the human warmth
Je sens la chaleur de nos ancêtres.
and feel the warmth of our ancestors.
Et je remercie toujours toutes les étoiles.
I also thank all the stars
Les étoiles, c'est nos ancêtres.
representing our ancestors.
Qui tient encore le chandelle comme un chandelle ou comme une petite lumière dans leurs mains qui nous surveille.
And it's like if they're watching over us, holding a little candle in their hands.
C'est pour ça que la mort n'existe pas chez nous.
Home, we say that death doesn't exist.
On est toujours là.
We're
toujours là.
We're always there.
Que ce soit un animal.
Even animals, it's the same thing.
J'ai pas plusieurs noms.
I was given many different names.
Mais pour moi, c'est pas le nom qui est important.
But it's not the name that is important.
Et aussi, je reçois beaucoup de titres.
I also received many different titles.
C'est rien.
But it's nothing.
C'est rien les titres.
Titles are nothing.
Un titre, c'est dangereux.
They can be dangerous.
On peut devenir un pouvoir aussi.
Because you can become a power with those titles.
On m'appelle grand-père.
Sometimes I'm called grandfather.
Je suis fier des gens quand ils m'appellent grand-père.
That makes me proud.
C'est comme si je marchais à côté d'un autre grand-père qui est parti dans un autre monde.
It feels like I'm walking next to another grandfather who went to the spirit's world.
Quand mon père est parti,
When my dad went away,
les gens chez moi, ils disent c'est toi qui vas remplacer ton père.
the people said, "You will be the one who will replace your father."
J'ai dit non.
I said, "No.
Personne ne peut remplacer l'autre.
Nobody can replace anyone.
Mais on peut marcher à côté.
But we can walk next to their footsteps
Et continuer sa vision.
and keep on working on to their vision."
Aujourd'hui,
Today,
nous avons bâti Kinawat
we have built an organization called Kinawat,
ensemble.
which means together.
C'est un lieu ancestral ici.
It's an ancestral place here.
On est ici dans le territoire.
This is where we are on this territory
On
right
tenterait
now.
bâtir un lieu pour aider les gens.
And we are actually building a bigger place in order to help the people.
Les gens ils viennent ici pour la journée.
The people can come for one day or more.
Des fois, c'est juste pour faire du canoë,
Sometimes it's just to canoe on the lake
pour absorber la nature.
or be in touch with nature.
C'est pas facile de travailler dans les grosses villes.
It's so hard working in big cities.
Les esprits souffrent.
The spirits suffer.
Et puis, je vous conseille, si jamais, si ça arrive à vous, que vous êtes entré dans l'action,
If it's
sortez
your
de la
case,
bâtisse.
my advice is just go out and leave these big buildings
Marchez les pieds nus sur la terre
and
sacrée.
find a place where you can walk barefoot on sacred earth.
Tout revient à la mémoire.
And all the memory will come back.
Vos ancêtres, ils vont être là aussi.
And you will find your own ancestors too.
Miigwech de m'avoir écouté.
Thank you for listening to me.
Je suis très content d'être quand on m'a appelé pour témoigner.
I'm very happy that you called for me to give my testimony.
J'ai grandi aussi.
And I grew up.
Vous m'avez donné la force encore.
You gave me strength once again.
Chez nous, il n'y a pas d'âge.
Home, we say there's no age.
On vit. On vieillit tous les jours, chaque
We
matin.
get older just every morning,
Pas dans un an.
not in a year ahead.
C'est demain qu'on va vieillir.
We grow up every morning.
Je vous aime tous.
And I love you all.
J'aimerais tellement voir les gens. Moi aussi.
I would love to see the people who are listening.
Mais dans mon esprit, vous êtes là.
But in my spirit,
Puis on vit dedans.
in my heart, you're here.
Miigwech.
Thank you.
Puis gardez votre sourire.
Keep your smile. I told you, Marilyn, that one question would be enough to make an entire podcast.
You know, the amazing thing is everything that grandfather shared is in all my questions, right? So
Yeah, that's true.
it just eliminated me from asking it. Because I think I just want to honor what grandfather shared. And I think it's so beautiful because he touched on the connection with nature and how healing is in nature. But also he shared something very deep about what happened in the colonization period and the suffering that people went through, including him, and how from that suffering, it led to forgiveness and reconciliation and finding that healing and peace which came from nature. And I think that's like such beautiful because whoever's listening to us can understand that healing and suffering, suffering brings out your resilience. Sometimes things happen to us that we have no control of, and it's our destiny, and we fated to experience it. But exactly what grandfather said, we are not a victim of our circumstances. And we have a choice at every minute to say, can we stay in that suffering, or how do we move to the place of healing? And I think what is so beautiful about this conversation, and I don't think there's coincidence in life. It's amazing that it happened at the specific point in my life because I'm going through a lot of suffering right now. So for me personally, it's been a very hard life. And I've been through a lot of things that happened. Like, from my childhood, I've had a strict father that brought on a different kind of suffering. I was also suicidal, like grandfather. I've never spoken about it before. This is the first time I'm speaking about it. But I went through my own suffering, and in that suffering, I found my healing. And in that healing, I also discovered I'm not a victim of circumstances. But through the healing, it's been very difficult because I've been through a lot of health issues. And for like the past 2 to 3 years, I've just been in and out of hospital. And right now, like while talking to y'all, I'm in a lot of pain because I've got more health issues and I'm waiting for an MRI scan. But I'm sitting 14 days in pain and there's nothing I can do until it passes. And in that, I'm going through my own suffering and my own healing and my own purification. And I'm using my practices of chanting to find my healing to move beyond the pain. But what I'm feeling is like, it's amazing that I'm having this conversation with y'all because it's such a pivotal point in my life where I'm trying to find my healing, my suffering to not be a victim of my circumstances. And listening to grandfather gives me so much hope as well because it's helping me to heal in a way. I don't know how to explain it.
Maybe I should translate a little bit because I think it's important to hear his answers to what you just said.
Okay.
Alors, Marilyn dit que c'est impressionnant parce qu'elle avait plein de questions pour toi, mais dans le fond, tu as toutes répondu. Mais aussi, elle nous a avoué quelque chose qu'elle n'a jamais dit à personne, mais tu as répondu tellement à des choses qu'elle-même a vues sur le plan personnel, qu'elle-même, elle a passé par des pensées suicidaires récemment. En ce moment, elle a des gros problèmes de santé physique avec son cœur. Elle doit passer encore des examens. Elle souffre beaucoup dans son corps. Donc, ça l'a beaucoup aidé de t'entendre parler. Puis, Elle a compris qu'on n'est pas la victime de qu'est-ce qu'on vit.
C'est ça, c'est ça. On est tellement fort.
We are so strong.
Tout le monde tout ce qu'on vit,
Everything we go through,
ça fait partie des enseignements de la vie, ça.
they are teachings.
Faut jamais rester dans les douleurs.
You never have to remain into suffering.
Moi, j'ai accepté.
Me, I accepted.
J'attends pas quelqu'un qui vient me demander pardon.
And I'm not looking for somebody else to come and ask for forgiveness.
Je dois accepter.
I must accept.
C'est moi qui vais gérer.
And you are the one who deals with it.
C'est bien des fois, c'est plus fort des fois s'écouter.
It's very powerful when you listen to yourself.
J'ai compris un peu la colonisation.
Qu'est-ce que tu veux dire?
Il parlait de la colonisation.
Oui, ok.
Et aujourd'hui, nous aussi, on a vécu ça.
So you spoke about colonization, and this is something that indeed we had to go through.
C'est une des raisons qu'on travaille dans la décolonisation.
And we have making lots of efforts now to decolonize our spirits
L'intérieur de chacun de nous.
within ourselves.
C'est parce que c'est là qu'on trouve l'équilibre, l'esprit, le corps et l'esprit mental.
And that's how you start finding balance between your body, your spirit, your intellect, your emotional body.
Je te conseille, Marlene, de prendre le temps pour aller dans un lac puis embarque dans le lac.
My advice, Marilyn, is if you can find a lake and go within water and feel the love of Mother Earth for you.
Pense à la tortue.
And you have to think of the turtle.
La tortue, il vit dans l'eau.
The turtle can live within water.
Il vit sur la terre aussi.
And also on the earth.
Et toutes les femmes, chez nous, on vous appelle les femmes médecines.
And all the women home, we call you medicine women.
Parce que vous êtes des porteuses.
Because you carry water in your own body, in your
vous
wombs.
donnez la vie comme la terre.
And that's how you give life like the earth.
J'avais des beaux cheveux comme toi.
In the past, I used to have beautiful hair like you do.
J'avais des belles tresses.
I had beautiful hair with braids.
Tous les hommes, ils avaient des cheveux longs comme ça.
And all the men used to have long hair like that.
On doit respecter la terre.
And it's the symbol of our respect to Mother Earth when we have long hair.
Quand on fait des cérémonies, les tresses, il faut qu'ils touchent la terre, maman.
And when you do a ceremony, you kneel and then you let your hair touch the ground. And it's like a connection with Mother Earth to show respect.
Aller chercher le côté féminin.
And also to connect with the feminine aspect of life.
J'avais des beaux cheveux comme toi.
I used to have beautiful hair like you.
Ils m'ont coupé quand je suis allé au patient.
But when I went to the school, they cut our hair.
Ils ont rasé ma tête.
They shaved our heads.
Parce que j'étais pas un homme. Parce que j'étais pas quelqu'un normal qui a des cheveux longs.
Because they used to consider that it was not normal to have long hair.
On était tous des bad spirits.
They used to think that we were bad spirits.
Ils sont à l'intérieur dans ma dodo avec ces gens-là qui m'ont.
But nowadays, I bring these people inside my sweat lodge.
Parce que je les ai acceptés comme ils sont.
Because I accepted them as they were.
Je peux rentrer à combat.
I decided not to fight.
J'ai toujours enseigné. Aujourd'hui, ces gens-là, ils viennent maintenant se ressourcer.
And nowadays, I have priests and policemen who come to our own teachings in order to heal.
Je peux te parler encore 2 heures si tu veux.
I can speak to you another 2 hours if you want. Maybe I should stop.
I'm so grateful. But I think maybe touching on the concept and our conversation on healing, and looking at Mother Nature, how would you say, like, I mean, you look at the rest of the world today, right? As we mentioned, there's environmental destruction, loneliness, anxiety, war, and disconnection. And the indigenous traditions, speak about that connection which grandfather has shared with us, that, the earth is not a resource to exploit, but it's something sacred and alive, and it's a teacher and it's a spirit. So, like, what would you say would your advice be to humanity that has forgotten this relationship with the earth? And what happens where, especially to human beings, when we lose that sacred connection, and how can we find it again?
Elle parle de toute la destruction en ce moment sur la Terre, puis tout ce que les humains vivent. C'est quoi ton conseil par rapport à la connexion avec la Terre? Qu'est-ce que les gens pourraient faire?
La terre, maman,
Mother Earth
c'est notre professeur.
is our teacher.
Elle nous demande chaque matin de l'aider.
Every morning she asks us to help her.
Quand elle souffre, nous souffrons.
When she suffers, we suffer.
Et quand on souffre, elle souffre
And
aussi.
when we suffer, she suffers.
Chez nous, c'est jamais trop tard pour parler de la guérison.
It's never too late to talk about your own healing.
Il faut arrêter de poser la question à la terre maman.
We should stop asking questions about Mother Earth.
Comment elle va?
How is she doing?
On doit l'écouter
We should only start listening to her
et agir.
and act.
Chaque printemps,
Every springtime,
elle nous parle.
she's giving such teachings.
Tout ce qui est arrivé pendant l'année.
She speaks to us about everything that happened during the year.
Les arbres sont malades.
You can see that the trees went through a
Nous
hard
vivons
time.
dans une pollution aujourd'hui incroyable.
You can see all this incredible pollution everywhere.
Des humains qui font des dégâts dans la forêt.
All the human beings who are destroying the forests.
Ça prend beaucoup l'éducation aujourd'hui.
We need lots of education nowadays.
C'est l'éducation que ça prend.
This is what we need.
Et il y en a beaucoup qui disent venez nous parler la terre maman.
Many people ask us to talk about Mother Earth.
La seule chose qu'on entend des fois dans l'organisation, des projets.
The only thing I'd like to say is that when the people want to help Mother Earth, they only talk about projects.
Et ça fait mal quand j'entends ça.
But that hurts me when I hear that.
Notre terre maman, c'est pas une business.
Because the danger is to still consider Mother Earth as a
C'est
business.
notre maman à nous tous.
She's a mother. She is our mother to us all.
On peut enseigner quotidiennement, tous les jours qu'on peut parler de la terre maman pour les biens.
Every day we have to speak about her well-being,
Sensibiliser les gens.
to raise awareness.
Aujourd'hui, j'arrête maintenant.
But today I stop.
Quand je suis avec des groupes,
When I'm with groups,
je regarde toujours à terre, il y a toujours des cigarettes à terre.
I always notice, just for instance, those cigarette
ramasse.
butts that the people throw, and I take them in my hands
Et je montre aux gens.
and I show to the people,
Je regarde qu'est-ce que j'ai trouvé
look at what I
sur la
found
terre maman.
on Mother Earth.
Je pense aux petits oiseaux
And I think about those little birds
qui sont curieux
who are
et
curious
qui goûtent.
and want to eat that.
Ils ont un petit estomac.
They have such a small stomach.
Il y en a beaucoup des oiseaux qui sont disparus par rapport des humains.
Many of them have disappeared because of human beings.
Mais j'accuse pas des humains.
But I don't want to accuse human beings.
Ils ont besoin tout simplement d'éducation.
They just need education.
faut les nourrir, les humains.
We have to feed human beings with love.
Ça donne rien de faire un grand panquette pour ça. Le monde, il regarde même pas la panquette.
I don't believe into manifestation with signs and all that.
Surtout le cœur qu'il faut couper.
I believe in the heart that we have to
La
touch.
voix d'une femme surtout.
And the voice of women.
Moi, c'est comme ça que je vois.
This is how I see things. And if I may add, what Grandfather was saying when he was talking about springtime is that Mother Earth is showing us that she is forgiving every springtime. She is able to reborn again, even though we're hurting her. And this is such a teaching of resilience and forgiveness and the power of life over death. And really what we want to tell the people is that it's not selfish to take care of your own self because it's so connected. And if you suffer because of the suffering of the world, then you add to the suffering of the world. And so we think that it's much better if you start nurturing yourself, knowing yourself, healing yourself. And you remember Grandfather earlier said, give yourself everything in order to give better. So it's not selfish. This is such a crucial teaching that I received from our elders here in Canada. They are surprising because we are all taught to give to the others, to forget about yourself and be generous. But they turn this around and they say, if you're always empty, what are you giving? So it's not about being selfish. It's about being able to receive all the abundance of life, and then you become abundance yourself, and giving becomes just joyful, not emptying you, you know. So
It's so beautiful. Because my guru also taught me
the best
that.
thing you can give to the earth.
Tellement beau si vous assistez à une cérémonie de l'eau au bord d'un lac avec les femmes.
It's so beautiful when we do our water ceremonies in front of a lake with women.
Les femmes y embarquent dans l'eau jusqu'aux genoux.
We ask the women to go into the water.
Et les hommes sont là en
and the
arrière
men
pour
are
regarder,
behind
assister.
to look at what's going on, but also to protect.
On devient de mentors.
And we all become mentors for Mother Earth.
Si vous allez aussi à la cérémonie de la lune.
And there's also the moon ceremony.
Il y a des cérémonies avec de l'eau.
And again with water.
C'est tellement une connexion.
It's such a beautiful connection with the earth.
C'est ça qu'on oublie des fois.
And we forget about these
Nous
things
sommes
too
tous
often.
les enfants de la terre.
We are all children of the earth.
La terre maman.
Mother Earth is our mother.
Notre Père le ciel, c'est notre papa.
The Father Sky is our father.
Et nous, on est entre les deux.
And we are in between.
On reste enfants.
Remaining as children.
Thank you so much. I think that's so beautiful what has been shared and the connection to the earth. But also, like I remember reading somewhere that grandfather once said that his father passed on medicine to him, not power. And it just shows that, you know, the difference in leadership. You know, leadership that has this connection to the earth and is in service is such a different way of engaging with life and the earth, you know?
Exactly.
And the question I would like to ask though is like, you know, in modern society, right, lots of young people, and I've met many people within my circle as well, that are drawn to indigenous spirituality, but they are looking at what they call as shamanism or ayahuasca. And it's a big trend, right? And they're looking towards that to discover themselves or find healing or to discover this inner journey of what this life is all about in their spiritual search. And so, but some of them are just looking towards it for mystical experiences or spiritual powers. So maybe can you all help us, like the people out there, to understand the difference between authentic Indigenous traditions and the practices that you all do, like the red part or the part of the heart, and how is this misunderstood in modern society when you look at people who are following these trends of shamanism and ayahuasca?
Alors, elle dit que de nos jours, il y a beaucoup de jeunes qui sont attirés par la mode du chamanisme et il y a beaucoup de gens qui font des cérémonies de ayahuasca. Puis elle demande comment on devrait comprendre tout ça. C'est quoi notre opinion? I will start a little bit and then I'll ask Grandfather to complete. But one thing I can tell you is that those ceremonies are not part of ours. They belong to some First Nations of South America. So in our traditions in North America, there's absolutely no drug. This is something that you have to know to start with. And what I've heard from elders of South America is that it's far from a fashion. And in the tradition, this is something that you would experiment only if your spiritual guide decide that it's good for you. And after long years of preparation and very, very close guidance. So then we can ask Shomis to Grandfather to give us more information, but the word shamanism also, you have many things to say about that. Le mot chamanisme, tu veux en parler?
Je trouve très triste quand je vois des organisations qui font des festivals de chamanisme.
Yeah, it makes me sad to see that it became a fashion. And for instance, there are many shamanism festivals nowadays, and that makes me sad.
Chez nous, on n'aime pas ce mot-là.
Here, we don't like the word shamanism.
C'était ça qu'ils ont utilisé les missionnaires pour nous évangéliser.
Because when the first European missionaries came to Canada, this was a word that they used to call us, and it was very negative. It's like if they were saying that we were sorcerers.
Je suis très content de la réponse des anciens chez moi qui n'ont pas cru cette déviance ou dévier notre croyance.
And I'm so proud of my ancestors who were strong enough to go through all these prejudices and misconceptions.
J'ai compris qu'est-ce que ça voulait vraiment dire un chaman. C'est celui qui te joue.
And if you look in the dictionary, even nowadays, you can read that they say that it can be somebody who can work with bad spirits.
Il faut avoir beaucoup de respect quand on parle de la croyance.
When we talk about someone's belief, we should have lots of respect.
Des fois, les gens parlent qu'ils voudraient être comme moi.
And sometimes I hear young people nowadays who say that they would like to become like me.
Et je dis, qu'est-ce que tu as eu pendant ta jeunesse pour me dire ça?
And I wonder what they had to go through in their young age so that they want to have so that they have this desire.
Mais on voit des fois la réponse tout de suite comme une déviance.
Often you can find the answer in their childhood, and you see how they want to deviate their own suffering.
Il me dit, j'ai reçu un chapelet quand j'étais jeune.
Sometimes people say, I received a rosary when I was young.
Et aujourd'hui, tu ne crois pas ton chapelet?
And then I say, and nowadays you don't believe into your rosary?
Il dit, il faut que tu te crois toi-même avant.
Then I answer, you have to start believing in your own self first.
Ton chapelet, il peut t'aider.
The rosary can help you.
C'est un esprit.
It's a spirit.
C'est cet esprit-là qu'on a peur, des fois. On a peur de porter un chapelet. Moi, je porte mon calumet.
And sometimes we're afraid of our own upbringing. Me, I'm not afraid anymore of my own tradition.
Juste pour faire comprendre des gens des fois. Ici, vous me voyez promener avec un objet de l'église. Qu'est-ce que vous allez me dire?
I give this example. If you see myself walking around with an object coming from a Catholic church, what are you going to believe?
Et je peux pas faire ça. Je dois respecter
I
cet
must
esprit-là.
respect this kind of spirit. This is not my tradition.
Il faut respecter
We should respect
et ne cherchez pas d'autres choses.
and don't try to look elsewhere.
Si vous cherchez quelque chose que tu veux, il va disparaître.
And when you run after something, it disappears.
C'est un esprit, il va avoir peur.
It's a spirit. It will become very scared.
On veut trop être possédé quelque chose.
Want to possess things too much.
C'est parce que c'est pas comme ça.
This is not how it works.
Moi, j'ai un panier d'écorce.
I, for instance, have a birch bark basket.
Puis j'adore quand je prends le panier d'écorce fait par les femmes.
And I love taking it in my hands. It's made by women.
C'est très sacré, ça.
It's very sacred.
Mais je me promènerai pas tous les jours avec ça pour respecter la femme.
If I want to respect all this, I will not carrying it around like just an object.
Il y a des prières là-dedans.
There are prayers in it.
Et alors, je dois respecter.
I must respect that.
Et pour moi, les festivals qui existent partout, là,
for me, those festivals,
j'espère qu'eux-mêmes vont finir par comprendre.
I hope that one day these people will end up understanding
que tu joues pas avec ça.
That you don't play with these things.
Je vois tes boucles d'oreilles, là.
I can see your hearings.
C'est beau.
It's beautiful.
Et alors, la beauté
vient
de qui a fait tes boucles d'oreilles? C'est beau.
Comes from the person who made these hearings. It's something beautiful.
Alors, c'est beau. Je parle de ça parce que c'est beau quand vous priez dans votre propre langage, dans votre propre croyance.
I'm talking about this because I can see your culture, and it's so beautiful when you connect to your own roots.
Des fois, les gens ils disent, j'aimerais ça être indien, moi aussi.
So sometimes people come to me saying, I would love to be Indian like you.
Ben, si tu veux l'être, je vais te montrer comment on fonctionne, non?
So, okay, if you want, I will show you how it works.
Imagine lynx.
So think about the lynx.
Un animal lynx.
The animal called lynx.
La maman qui est en avant.
The mommy at the front.
Et en arrière de maman.
Is followed by
tous ses enfants.
All her children.
Alors, maman y enseigne déjà comment marcher.
So the mommy already is teaching how you should walk.
Comment respecter la famille.
Respecting the family.
Et ils nous montrent tout ça, les animaux.
Animals show us all those things.
Lynx, là, c'est l'amour.
And the lynx is showing you so many things about love.
C'est comme ça que je vois la spiritualité.
This is how I see spirituality.
Par un animal, pas par une autre personne.
Not through human beings, but through the teachings of the animals. I can maybe say that shamanism, as Shanice said, is a word that is associated here to very negative things because of the priests who came and tried to demonize their work, but also it became a fashion, and we see that those people who are following these fashions are not walking on the ground. They try to escape themselves, they try to connect with something outside themselves, and they look for something spectacular. Or so I think sometimes they can have real experiences, but the danger is to think that you need this kind of support to find yourself. And for us, it's important to walk, to be really underground, simple, not to try to avoid your human life, not to try to find something outside of yourself. So the word, we've been looking for the origin of that word, and we've been to Mongolia, and it's not even a word over there. So the medicine men and women have their own words to talk about themselves. And so in our research, it's probably coming from Siberia. It's in their own vocabulary. But in our languages, it only means the words that are used only mean medicine men and medicine women. That's all. Very simple.
Okay, thank you for that. I mean, that brings like such deep spiritual insight into understanding it. Especially people in the modern world who are experiencing it. And it's nice to have that sense of background and context and wisdom. So I'm aware of the time. And so I just want to ask one question directed to you, to Marie-Josée. Because I know in your journey and your spiritual path, it's been, you've been walking a very different life before this. I read that you were into journalism and media. And, like, what was happening within you personally that led you to search for something deeper? And how did your journey eventually lead you into the indigenous wisdom and the sacred pipe and walking alongside grandfather? Because the way grandfather speaks of you, you are very instrumental in his life and his path to his healing. And how did that unfold in your journey?
T'as compris la question? Elle me parle à moi, elle me pose la question sur mon chemin. First of all, the spiritual calling was always within me. So since very early childhood, it was there already. So I had these big questions about existence and God. And so actually, when I started to walk into my professional life, I became a journalist, but it's not exactly what I wanted to do. But I didn't know myself enough. And, sometimes life goes very fast. And often I say that the train of journalism went through my life and I got onto it without knowing what I really wanted to be. And then the train went really fast, and the first thing I knew, the first class was offered to me, and I found myself on TV. And so it was a very different life with a beautiful salary and beautiful clothes and hairdressers and TV studios. And, the red carpet was in front of me. But since I had this spiritual calling, it became very, very suffering. So each night when the camera was on, I had to tell about all the bad things that happened during the day, all the horrible things that human beings do to each other. And inside it was screaming, what am I doing here? And today I understand that it was a good thing to suffer that much because it pushed me it forced me to find my answers. You know, sometimes you don't suffer enough and then you endure and you keep your little ordinary life. But when the hurt is strong, it's good news because you're obliged to find the answers. So what happened is that I would end up a contract, and then I thank myself because I was very courageous. I would put my rucksack on and travel to India or Europe, and I started to meet great masters, Tibetan masters, masters from different religions. And I remember since a very young age, I thought that one day I would discover the heart of every religions, because in my mind, then I would be sure to touch what's essential. The heart of every religion for me was probably closest to God. And so part of that journey brought me to go to the elders of my own country, you know, the First Nations elders. And that's how I started to go to their ceremonies, but without knowing that one day this path would be mine. And to cut a long story short, I was very content. I decided one day that I would leave the media. I used to have those dreams at night of jumping from a plane without any parachute. It was a big, big, big jump into the unknown. But with each of these dreams, you know, there would be like a rope appearing in the sky, and I would just have to hang on to that rope, and then I would land softly, or, you know, those dreams were telling me everything will be fine. So I decided to dedicate my life to a different journalism at one point in my life. And that meant that the salary would be bad, and, you know, I had to go through a lot of uncertainty. But that was the decision that I made, to use my talents and marry them with my passions, my real call. And that's how I met Grandfather. The first time I met Grandfather was because I wanted to interview him. And without knowing that 10 years later, because we became good friends at that time, but 10 years later, I received a phone call that would change my whole life. And I didn't know that during those 10 years, the elders were watching me, and they felt that their path would be mine. So when I received that phone call, it was Grandfather who said, the elders want me to offer you a sacred object. So I'm asking you to come this day, that hour, this place. So I went, and I found out that they wanted to offer me what we call a sacred pipe. And they explained to me that this was a very sacred object. And if I accepted to become a sacred pipe carrier, actually it meant that I had to engage for the rest of my life, to commit to become a carrier, which means to learn all the philosophy, the medicine, the language, the culture, and be there in order to protect all these medicines. And this was so unexpected. I had to think about it for a long time. And at the end, I said, well, let's try and see what happens. And this was 20 years ago. So I guess that the elders were right. And then after a few months, we became also a couple. And the thing is that our talents are so complementary. We complement each other so much that it gave birth to many different things, like the Kinawat organization, also the Dominique Rankin Foundation. We now are part of Religions for Peace, which gave us the chance to know you. We're just coming back also from the United Nations. We're very proud of that project. We just launched a couple of days ago. Oh, Grandfather has to go. We just launched plan of action, which is called the Muscat Plan of Action, which is there to encourage the leaders of our world to use the medicines and the wisdom of First Nations people. Here we go. This is it. Ta-da!
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's in order to use the wisdom of ancestral people in order to avoid violence, genocides, hate speech, that sort of things.
Wow.
So if you want, you can go on the internet and find a little bit more about it. But it was such a great recognition of the wisdom of the first peoples after all what we said about colonization. This is a historical moment where things are starting to change. Even though on the news you think that things are going bad, well, our prophecies say that there will be a lot of chaos, but after this chaos, there will be the promise of a big renewal. And we believe that this is what's happening. So it's the same thing for our own personal life. Very often, before you're reborn into a new life, you have to go through chaos. And this is what humanity is also going through. But you have these signs here and there saying, keep on going, doing the good work. Things are changing for the good reasons. It's going to be hard, but we sincerely believe that there's good news hidden behind all this.
That's so beautiful. Wow, it's so amazing. And I think what's so beautiful what you shared is that, you when you went searching for our religions and looking for the heart of it that connects to God, I think that's so beautiful. And now I understand, like, also why it led you into the interfaith space. And it was so beautiful to meet you there and meet Grandfather there, because that's part of like what my journey is about. I love our religions and I'm looking for the heart of it. And it's that interfaith unity connection to God. And also the indigenous traditions also brings that wisdom and that beauty and that heart. And I just love it as well. I also remember when I went to one of Religions for Peace international conferences in New York. It was an environmental one where I think it was 2014. It was my first time in New York. And I also met another Indigenous spiritual leader. I think his name was Francis Paulette. Can't remember. I don't know if you know him. He's from Canada as well, and he lives at the Great Lake. And it was so beautiful to meet him and experience the Indigenous tradition. And he actually came to South Africa because he was part of an organization that was trying to save the white lion. And so he came to South Africa and I invited him home, and my mom cooked like so much meals for him, and he sat, he ate, and I painted this nice painting of a horse on the river and I gave it to him as a gift. And then he also came to our temple and he experienced Om chanting, where we were doing this meditation where we sit in an inner circle and outer circle and we just chant Om for healing for everybody. And he really enjoyed it. So I hope one day when you do come to South Africa, that I will be able to give you all this experience, but you'll be able to come to my home and have a nice family dinner with us as well.
That
But
would be wonderful.
it'll be wonderful. But it was just so beautiful to be in the space, to listen to you and Grandfather, to understand what you went through and how it led to healing, reconciliation, forgiveness, but also the amazing work that you all are doing in terms of medicine and helping society through the indigenous tradition. And I just think that's so beautiful. And thank you for being in the space with me here today to share and for me to listen to y'all and to learn and understand. And at the same time, it also contributes to my healing and my journey. And I hope that whoever's listening to us, it will contribute to their healing and journey as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I don't know if maybe...
Elle nous remercie.
Ok, mais il a parlé beaucoup.
Oui, mais c'est bien, on va terminer là-dessus.
And also, I also want to thank you, Marie-Josée, because I know you also won the Religions for Peace Woman of Excellence Award.
Thank you.
And before we close off, like maybe you can just tell us what that was about and what was that experience for you?
Alors, elle me demande de parler du prix que j'ai gagné récemment à Religions for Peace. You know, this also came like a total surprise. Really, when I told you about this big decision I made when I left the media, it's because I understood that we all have talents and gifts, but we also have passions and values. And the idea is doing this, you know, with them and to find our own path. And when you do this, when you're giving, you're receiving more. So I never considered that I was doing it really for the others. You know, I receive so much more. This is what I'm trying to say. I receive so much more by doing what I love. And what I love has meaning to me. And I have this sense of contribution. So it feels strange to receive a reward. But at the same time, it's like when grandfather also received his own medals and rewards. It's something that can help you going further in your own work, you know. Like other people say, oh, they have recognition, then it means that what they do is valuable and strong. So this is how I take it. It's like an encouragement to do more, maybe, but really what I do is because it's something I love doing. That's all. And I can see that it has good results and it's rewarding as such, but it's medicine. This is what we call medicine. And every one of us has their own medicine. This is what we're meant to do. And that's all.
That's so beautiful. And I think before we close off, my last question would be if maybe grandfather and you could share a little bit, considering, you know, the interfaith space and interfaith unity, what would your message be to religious leaders, to the community out there, to people listening to us, on how to bridge the gap for interfaith unity? Because you know, considering listening to the past of how the missionaries, you know, treated indigenous traditions and wisdom, what will be your message to contribute to religious interfaith unity, but also for religious leaders to understand the indigenous wisdom in the space?
OK, elle a une dernière question. Elle demande quel est ton message pour encourager les autres religions à se rencontrer, à encourager les autres religions à respecter les spiritualités des Premières Nations. C'est quoi ton message pour encourager les rencontres interreligieuses?
Que toutes les croyances, s'ils se réunissaient ensemble,
If all the spiritualities, the beliefs would reunite together, meet,
chaque message des peuples, des différents peuples sur cette terre ici,
we would see that all the messages from the different peoples on the earth,
il va y avoir toute une force ensemble.
that together they can become very strong.
Je fais partie dans les peuples nomades.
I'm from a nomadic people,
Quand les aînés partaient ensemble,
and when the elders used to live together,
je voyais les canaux sur la rivière.
you would see the canoes on the river,
Ils parlaient entre eux autres.
and they would talk to each other
Et pour l'avenir.
about the future.
Et moi, j'encourage de toutes les religions
I encourage all the religions
que nous prions pour les mêmes, que ce soit Bouddha, que ce soit
to discover
des différents.
that we all pray the same God, whatever we call it, God, Buddha, Allah.
Et c'est pas en parlant côté politique non plus qui va nous réunir.
And it's not the politics that will help us reunite.
C'est dans la simplicité.
It's just simplicity.
C'est la façon que tu sens à l'intérieur de
It's
toi.
the way you feel things within yourself.
Quand j'ai pris, moi,
When I pray,
j'ai pris pour toute la religion.
I pray for all religions.
Et il va y avoir juste il y a juste une planète.
There's only one planet.
Puis ma vision,
And my vision
c'est qu'avoir une famille dans cette
is
planète-là.
to form only one family on this
Que ce
planet.
soit la religion que tu pratiques.
Whatever your religion,
Tu peux pas t'en sortir que tu es toujours Anicinape.
you remain Anishinaabe and a human being.
C'est pas le titre qui est important.
It's not the status or the title that is important.
J'aime beaucoup le pape qui est là. C'est un homme
I really appreciate the new Pope
qui va prendre sa place.
who is
Est humain.
being stronger right now, but it's a human being.
C'est un bel exemple, ça.
It's a good example.
Et, moi, c'est tout ce que je dirais. Embarquons tous ensemble.
And my message is, let's get inside the same canoe
Puis on va ramer tous
and
ensemble.
let's paddle together.
Ou on va marcher tous ensemble, un à côté de l'autre.
Or let's paddle next to each other. Thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you so much. That's really beautiful. Anything you want to add to that, Marie-Josée?
No.
Okay. Okay, great. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this time spent with me. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. I'm so honored. And I cannot wait to get our conversation out there and for others to learn as well.
Thank you very much. It was really, really a pleasure to be with you this morning.
It was a pleasure as well.
Bye-bye.
I love you.
Bye. Take care.